There are 7 very dangerous places that destroy yourself, your true self. You have been living in places that have nothing to do with geography. These places are not on a map. They are in your mind, in the way you arrange your life, in the invisible structures you have built around yourself. And yet, they are more real, more powerful, more dangerous than any physical location could ever be. Before we hop into that, my name is Zoelle, and I am a prophetess and manifestation coach. You can call me the potentialist. I help people to find purpose and manifest their full potentials. I upload free videos packed with secrets to help you. I do have live streams where I pray for people for free, and also free prayer communities. But just in case you would want to have a one-on-one session with me on personal spiritual matters and lasting solutions, be sure to scan the code on your screen. This takes you to the app called Faithia. You can download it on your phone and get me through that app, where you can book a one-on-one session, or you contact the information in the About section. Most people spend their lives wandering through these places without ever realizing they are trapped. You think something is wrong with you, but what if the problem isn't you at all? What if you're simply living in the wrong psychological neighborhood? Let's talk about 7 places that can destroy who you really are, not through violence or force, but through something far more subtle. They destroy you by making you forget yourself, by teaching you to abandon your own nature, by convincing you that the mask is more important than the face beneath it. The first place is a hall of mirrors. This is where everyone around you reflects back only what you already believe. Every conversation confirms what you think. Every opinion matches your own. Every fear you have is validated and amplified by the chorus of voices that sound remarkably like your own. Just the way you think, you can say. You might think this sounds rather comfortable, even pleasant. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Your mind isn't meant to live in perfect agreement with yourself. It's meant to be challenged, tested, stretched. When you surround yourself only with people who think exactly as you do, your mind doesn't grow stronger. It grows more rigid, more brittle, and more afraid. The problem with the Hall of Mirrors is that it makes you terrified of different ideas. A new thought feels like an attack. A different perspective feels like betrayal. You become so identified with your beliefs that questioning them feels like dying. And so you cling even tighter to the mirrors, demanding they show you only what you want to see. But when you live in the Hall of Mirrors, you're not really thinking at all. You're simply repeating. You're not growing. You're not calcifying. You're not becoming more yourself. You're becoming less. The way out is simple, but not easy. You must deliberately seek out voices that disturb you. Not to argue with them, not to prove them wrong, but simply to feel your own mind stretch. To remember what it's like to know, to not know, to wonder, to question even your own cherished certainties. I hope you're understanding what you're listening to. The second place is the arena of comparison. Comparison. This is where you measure your worth against everyone else's achievement. You measure your worth against someone else's status, possessions, and success. In this place, nothing you do is ever quite enough, because someone somewhere has always done it better, faster, or more impressively. The arena of comparison disguises itself as motivation. You tell yourself that comparing yourself to others will inspire you to improve. But watch what actually happens. When you live in this arena, you don't become inspired, you become exhausted. Every achievement feels hollow because it's not good enough compared to someone else's. Every success is immediately followed by the question, but what about them? You are giving away your power to feel satisfied with your own life. That is what you are doing here. The escape from this place requires something radical, You must stop measuring altogether, not occasionally, but completely. You must stop and learn to do things simply because they delight you, not because they will impress anyone. You must recover the child's capacity to play without keeping score, to create without needing applause, to exist without consistently or constantly calculating your rank. Wow. The third place is the theater of mask. Note these things because they are very important in your manifestation. This is where authenticity is punished. The performance is rewarded. Here you learn to show only the parts of yourself that are acceptable, impressive, or useful. Everything else must be hidden behind a carefully constructed facade. To wear a mask to some degree is natural, even necessary. But the theater of mask is different. In this place, the mask becomes so thick, so permanent, that you forget there was ever a face beneath it. The most insidious part is how exhausting it becomes. Every interaction requires careful calculation. What can you say? What must you hide? How should you appear? You come home from a day in a theater and you're drained, not from genuine engagement, but from the constant effort of being someone you're not. The way out of the theater requires courage. You must begin taking off the mask carefully at first, testing to see who stays and who leaves. And yes, some people will leave. Those who preferred your performance to your reality. But this isn't loss, it's liberation to your very own self. The fourth most dangerous place to be is a room of silence. Not the good kind of silence where there is contemplative stillness, where wisdom grows. No, this is the toxic silence where pain is buried. Needs are denied and truth is too dangerous to speak. In the room of silence, you learn that having emotional needs is selfish, that expressing pain is weakness, that the way to maintain peace is to never be honest about what hurts. And so you become very skilled at suffering quietly, at pretending everything is fine, at convincing yourself that numbness is the same as peace. But here's what actually happens in this place. Your emotional needs don't disappear when you ignore them. They accumulate in your body, in your nervous system, creating anxiety. You can't explain, and the depression that comes with it, you can't really get yourself off it easily. This seems to come from nowhere. You can't even explain the details of how it's resurfaced, or of how it came into being. The way out requires breaking the silence gently but firmly. You must say out loud the things that have been hidden, not with anger or blame, but with simple honesty. You need to be able to come out and tell people that you're hurting. I'm hurting, I need help. This isn't working for me. You must risk the false peace for the possibility of real connection. The fifth place is the storm of noise. This is where you are bombarded constantly with information, stimulation, demands, and distraction. There is always something to read, something to discuss, something requiring your attention. You fill every quiet moment with activity because stillness feels unbearable. The storm of noise keeps you in a state of constant reaction. You're always responding to the latest thing, the newest crisis, the most recent outrage. There's no time for contemplation, for integration, for allowing experience to settle into understanding. The most is done in the silence. The most is done when the world is quiet. Pay attention if your life is in this kind of mess. The way out is frightening because it requires turning off the noise and sitting with whatever arises. At first, anxiety will flood in. All the things you have been avoiding will rush to the surface. But if you can stay with this discomfort, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to clear. Your thoughts become your own again. You start to hear that quiet inner voice that the storm would have drowned out. The sixth place that is very dangerous to be is a chamber of self-betrayal. This is where you systematically abandon your own truth, your own needs, your own instincts. You say yes when everything aside you screams no. You stay in situations that drain you because living feels too difficult. You chose what's expected over what's authentic, what's safe over what's true. The Chamber of Self-Betrayal teaches you to cope with pain rather than heal from it. It trains you to ask how you can better tolerate hurt rather than how you can address what's actually wrong. And so you develop all sorts of clever strategies for managing discomfort while never actually resolving anything. The way out of this particular dangerous place requires something that may feel selfish at first. You must begin checking in your own self again. Check with your own self again. What do you actually want? What does it feel like to be in your own body? What is your truth, regardless of what others expect? And then you must begin making choices based on these answers. You must prioritize yourself, Now, the seventh and most dangerous place is the basement of shadows. This is the eternal space where you have locked away all the parts of yourself you are too afraid or too ashamed to face. Every painful memory, every shameful thought, every quality you have decided is unacceptable. The basement of shadows doesn't just contain what you fear. It also holds tremendous power, creativity, and vitality. That anger you have buried might become passionate advocacy once you face it. That sadness might become deep empathy. That shame might become fierce compassion for others who struggle with similar issues. The way out of this requires not avoidance, not denial, but the courage to go down into darkness with the light and see what's actually there. Not to judge it, not to fight it, but simply to acknowledge it. Yes, this is also part of you. This is part of me. Acknowledge that that dark side is also a part of you. The shadow loses its power to control you unconsciously when you have come to the acknowledgement that it's also a part of you. You become whole again, integrated, no longer at war with yourself. You have been living in these places, but you don't have to. You can leave. You can walk out of the hall of mirrors and into genuine conversation. You can leave the arena and pursue what actually brings you joy. You can remove the mask and risk being seen. You can break the silence and break your truth. You can turn off the noise and listen to yourself. You can stop betraying yourself and start honoring your own knowing. You can descend into the basement and integrate your shadows. This isn't easy work, but it's the only work that matters, because what good is a life spent in these places? What's the point of surviving if you have lost yourself in the process? Your true self is calling, waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to come home. The question is, will you? When you are ready, you will definitely get out of it. Authenticity is the best place to live. That is why I celebrate everyone who is spiritually awakened, because you no longer live in these places. You have come to the authentic truth about yourself, and you are living life the way it ought to be, and you're having the best of it. I pray that everyone under the sound of my voice will come to the place of authenticity in their manifestation. With so much love, thank you for watching. God bless you always. Please, for one-on-one session, scan the code on your screen or check the About section for information to book on Faithia to get to talk to me or join our prayer communities to stay strengthened in your manifestation journey. God bless you and shalom.